One of the major challenges of building a home theater in a living room setup is that you typically do not have a fully light controlled room. Now last year, I did a poll on my channel and found that 2/3 of you do not have a dedicated theater room. That means the majority of you are building a home theater in a living room, maybe a bedroom or a bonus room that has a lot of ambient light. In this video, I'll share with you a solution to help you control the amount of light in your space while adding additional privacy and cooling to your room. In our living room, we have a massive 3-pane sliding glass door. When we moved into our home about 17 years ago, we installed 2 vertical shades that manually pull together in the middle. Now, as you can see here, one of the poles broke many years ago, and it's always been awkward to pull the shade to the middle in fear of breaking the blinds. Another issue we've always had was the large 3-inch gap in the middle when the shades are pulled together. I've never used motorized blinds and thought this might be a really cool way of adding automation and functionality to our living room, and it might be a product that some of you would be interested for your home as well. The SmartWings website has a huge selection of shades with various designs, colors, and price points. Now I opted for the SmartWings motorized blackout cellular shades as I wanted to make the room as dark as possible. Now I'll have links down in the description below that you can check out at the end of this video. On their website, you can choose your fabric, whether or not you're mounting it inside or outside your window frame. In speaking with the SmartWings rep, she recommended for my setup to use the outside installation and to go with 3 motorized shades. That way I could extend the shades a few inches outside the doors to provide the most blockage of light. You can then select the width and the height for each motorized blind. SmartWings provides an easy to use how to measure doors for shades documentation on their website, which I'll link down in the description below. Under the motor type, you have the options for standard, Zigbee, Alexa, Z-Wave Plus, or HomeKit. Now I chose the Alexa motor, but didn't notice that my Echo Dot 5th generation is not actually supported, so they later sent me a HomeKit hub that you can see here. Now if your window receives a lot of light during the day, they also have solar panels that you can connect to continually keep your blinds charged. They currently have 2 options for remotes. The standard remote that I ordered controls up to 5 shades. If you need to control more than 5, you can opt for the remote that supports up to 15 shades. You can see here the options that I chose for my room, which totaled $1,478.91 for the 3 very large shades. Now, due to my sliding glass doors being quite large, there was an extra cost of $48 per shade for the 48-inch width and an extra $160 per shade for the 99-inch height. Now the price will change depending on what options, features, and especially the size and style of shades that you choose for your room. The 3 shades arrived in less than 2 weeks after I placed the order, which is great for custom sized shades. Opening up the outer box, I found a separate box for each motorized shade. Inside those boxes, we had 3 shades, a solar charging kit, remote control, 3 sets of screws and drywall anchors, 3 electric motors, 3 charging cables, 3 mounting brackets, a quick start guide, Amazon Alexa programming guide, quick installation guide, and a remote programming guide. Now overall installation is fairly simple and straightforward. Now I'm not super handy, so the hardest part for me was measuring to make sure the shades were centered as well as level. First we attached the motor to the front side of the shades using the included clips and connected the cables. Since we're installing 3 shades side by side, we decided to install the center shade first. You'll need to locate 3 open areas on the top of the shades to attach 3 wall brackets to. To attach the brackets, press the spring-loaded mechanism and secure it to the shades in the groove. Once we attached the 3 mounting brackets to the shade, we centered the shade on the wall using a measuring tape, using a pencil to trace around each of the 3 brackets. This would allow us to then remove the mounting brackets, place them on my wall, and mark where the screw holes would go. We drilled holes for each bracket and installed the drywall anchors. After installing the drywall anchors, we then attached each wall bracket using the included screws. Once you have the 3 brackets installed, you'll want to angle the shades and attach it to the front part of the bracket. Then you can snap the rear of the shades into place. We repeated the same process for the left as well as the right shade, mounting them as close as possible to the center shade to provide the most coverage. With the shades installed, we next paired each shade with a selection on the remote. Hitting the right or left arrow, you can cycle through until you see the first LED lit. Then press and hold the orange button on top of the left shade for 2 seconds. You'll see the shade jog once to let you know that it's in pairing mode. Then press and hold the stop button and the motor will jog twice. Now we have the left shade paired with the first selection on the remote. We then set the remote to the second selection and repeated that step for each of the remaining shades. Once that's complete, you can select each shade individually and lower or raise the shades. If you want to control all 3 shades, use the right or left arrow until all of the lights are lit, and that will control up to 5 shades at the same time. Now I have noticed that sometimes when using the remote, all 3 shades do not respond, so I have to hit the up or down button again. By default, I felt the blinds did move a bit slow for my taste, but I found out you can easily change this setting. Each motor has 3 speeds. In slow mode, it took about 1 minute and 10 seconds to completely lower. In medium mode, it was a little bit faster, it only took 1 minute, and in high mode, it took 50 seconds. So I now have them set to the high speed setting, which reduces the time by 20 seconds. Now keep in mind, my blinds are pretty tall, so if your windows are shorter, it will take less time than mine. The SmartWings shades can also be controlled via voice. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you'll need to make sure that you order the correct motor and also make sure that your device is compatible with that motor. In my case, my Echo Dot 5th generation was not compatible, so SmartWings sent me the SmartLink hub. As you can see here, I have it connected in my office to just a USB outlet to provide power to the hub. With it connected, I installed the Smart Life app and added the 3 blinds to the app. I then created 2 scenes. One scene lowers the shade every day at 6 p.m. and another scene was created to raise the shades at 7 p.m. This is the time frame that the sun is shining directly through that window due to having a covered lanai directly outside this triple sliding glass door. Now, I was not able to get Alexa to discover the 3 shades even after putting them in pairing mode, so I'll have to work on that some more. If I do get it resolved, I'll let you know in the description below as well as in a pinned comment. But for my needs, using the scenes with timers in the Smart Life app is perfect. And for the times that I want to lower the shades, I can simply use the remote. So overall, I'm really pleased with how these have turned out, but with every product, there are definitely some pros and cons. So let's go over the pros. The first thing is they're easy to install with very few installation parts. Most installations are likely going to be a single window, which is going to make it even easier for you than my installation mounting 3 side-by-side shades. The SmartWings shades block out the majority of light entering into my room. As you can see here, even in the middle of the day when the shades are down, the room gets really dark. Another pro is with the shades down, I no longer have a massive reflection on my TV from the ambient light from outside. They fit into the look and decor of our room and look aesthetically pleasing even when using them as external mounted. Overall, the build quality appears to be quite good. We've used them daily over the past few months and have had no issues. As far as cons, I can only think of 3. The first con is they're not inexpensive. At almost $1,500 for my configuration, these are quite a bit more expensive than manual shades, but there are definitely much higher priced motorized shades on the market. For those that are looking for near silent motors, these aren't super quiet. I can hear them from my dining room, which is about 40 foot away, as you can hear here. Now, the only other con that I've found is they aren't perfectly aligned when the shades are down. You can see here the gap between the left and the center shades at the very bottom. But fortunately, even though there's a slight light bleed at the bottom, the room still gets incredibly dark, even in the middle of the day. So if you're wanting to add motorized shades to your home to add some additional privacy, as well as to darken your room and add some automated features, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. As always, God bless, and I will catch you in the next video.